The final initiation. As the masters continue to reveal the nature of the labyrinth, Master SB. Un momento while I grab some fire. This is a very difficult time. Unlike any time that has ever existed on this plane, or any other before. For many, there is a feeling of malice. The tendency of your emotional experience is to see no future. Not to remember your past. You are losing your dreams. And as a result, you are losing your will. Because of this affliction, many see this time we are living in now as a time of confusion and suffering, a time of hopelessness. But this is not the essence of this time, nor is it the purpose of this experience. May the people of the Terra hear this message. And may they hope the dreams, their dreams, be rekindled into flame, fire. May they draw the power of the violet flame from within the great halls known as Amenti. May they again reach within and touch the love that has always been there for them from the dawning of creation. Love that arises from the first union of the Divine Father and the Divine Mother. For they are the sons and daughters of the light. One day they will realize how greatly loved they have been. There will be much change between now and what you could call the millennium year. To the undiscerning mind, this can be seen as a time where we are headed in a direction that only brings with it the greatest conflicts that have ever been experienced by the souls of humankind. We would ask you then to consider, where is your heart's commitment? What does your inner guidance tell you? You must believe in yourself, in your own divinity. If you do not believe in yourself, how can you put faith in the concept that some heavenly host would even consider taking you up into a great ship or through the experience of divine rapture, whatever that looks like? Now, more than ever, we implore you to become the very expression of love that you seek outside of yourselves. For in that act, you shall draw to you the likeness of yourself. In the moment you become love, love shall be reflected in all you experience. Stand fast, for you now enter the final stages of your initiation into the Christos. In the twinkling of an eye, you shall become the very dream you have been dreaming. As yet, you do not realize the full potential of yourself. We tell you now, you are the lawgivers. Your sword is your will, and your shield is your heart, which is why the whole of the universe sits and awaits the consequence of your decisions at this time. Mine too. As we look upon the peoples of the Terra, we see that the story of Earth, what is known throughout the universe as Terra, the story of man and woman, womb of man, is the fairy tale of the universe, and it is a love story extraordinaire. The nature of its expression now seems to be a tale of human conflict and woe. But things are not often what they seem. In your spinning of the human dream, you have harbored many dualities and judgments. I have too. We have too. We's better than I. It's programming. Shed it. Chuck it in the fucking bucket. Programming. These thought forms must now manifest to be released. It is all a process of purification. We call it purification, as this is your own decree. Yet, even in your blindness, the great plan unfolds along its intended path. You are truly fulfilling the father's dream and the mother's dream. Through experience, as it must be upon the plane of action, you are ridding your consciousness of inequities that would prevent your awakening. You are ridding yourselves of iniquities that would prevent your awakening. You are ridding your consciousness. You are ridding your body. You are ridding your thoughts of iniquities that would prevent your awakening. You are freeing yourselves from that which would prevent your destiny. The pain you feel is equal to the love you withhold. Wow. That really hit me there. Ooh, I'm going to repeat that. The pain you feel is equal to the love you withhold. You are in these final stages of the dream, experiencing the effects of the blue ray. Some of you are familiar with this ray as the ray of Michael, or Mikiel, the ray of Shiva. The blue ray brings harmony and purification of spirit, oftentimes through conflict. The conflict is due to the resistance we offer to ourselves. It is a battle that often is not understood, because it is a battle of conflictions, emotional paradigms that express through our feelings. Therefore, like feelings, it is unseen, yet felt intensely. So very often, we do not understand the nature of the odyssey we are engaged in, And all the struggle is due to our attitude and resistance to change. Whoa, that is definitely, I don't know, the message for this one incarnate in this flesh suit, earth walk, that be this voice right now. Put the soul inside, ancient. Ooh. Pardon that. Just shake a little. Something on the ground. Purification. Something tells me a dear friend has already read this. It is a battle that is not understood because it is a battle of conflictions, emotional paradigms that express through our feelings. So, said both read in two separate tones. Interesting tones, vibrations through our voice. Therefore, like feelings, it is unseen, yet felt intensely. So very often we do not understand the nature of our odyssey that we engaged in, and all the struggle is due to our attitude and resistance to change. I turned my heart dial there when I shook that cleansing powder mixed with a little bit of ground up sage on the ground. Interesting. This blue ray is a double-edged sword. That is the great equalizer in life. In our observing the condition of the human drama, presently there is much pitting of belief against belief, culture against culture, race against race, gender against gender. There is much concern as across our planet there are thousands of little wars erupting. They light the evening skies with 1,000 campfires. But this is how it has always been here. Has it not? When you no longer have a need for that experience, and it becomes a collective desire, keywords there, collective desire, humankind will be able to move beyond the effects of that vibration. The blue vibration. The vibration of Shiva. I gotta get some water. I would. I'd read that. Oh, such a sweet element. At that point in humankind, we will enter the realm of the violet ray, the blue vibration, all right, and now entering the realm of the violet ray, which is the gateway home. Presently, boy, home sounds good. Presently, the state of moving forward beyond consciousness, competing against consciousness, can only be experienced by individuals, singularly or in small groups. I think we can do better than that. I believe we can. I know we can. There we go. There still exists much separation between groups holding their thoughts of how it should, that word, how it should be. Illusory. Each group and each teacher continues to exert an energy that sends the message, air quoting, our way is the better way, thus endorsing the separation between all beings rather than melding them together into a common humanity, togetherness. Perhaps these individuals suffer from an overabundance of contrary energies. Thus, in these early days of the new century, we are seeing many groups collapsing from within because of their insistence on holding on to this vibration. Self-made victims in the war of valued life. The root of this vibratory pattern of separatism, air quoting separatism, is born from a perception of fear and lack. The fear of one group being more correct than the other immediately creates divide. The fear too. The fear that a different way cannot be as pure and powerful as our way. That weighs on my heart. Sure, it weighs on our heart. Collectively, a lot of you, hopefully not just a few of us, I believe. I know there's more out there. Wakey, wakey, y'all. We need you. All hands on deck. I'm going to reread that. It's separatism, which is the root of the vibratory pattern, being born from the perceptions of fear, false evidences appearing real, and lack, not having anything, thought. Shed that stuff. Step. Chuck it in the bucket and hop on the deck with all of the other hands and hearts and souls. And it's a competition kind of mindset for the fear of being more correct than another, the fear that a different way cannot be as pure and powerful as our way. Reminds me a lot of religion. Not say much more than that. Thus endorsing the separation between all beings, and also rendering us fighting each other, makes us pretty vulnerable when we're focused on us versus them mentality to assist. But their time is almost up. The gig is up. Every day things get a little bit lighter. So giddy up. So the competition mindset characterizes the lack of the individual or individuals to express with complete certainty the ownership of themselves and their viewpoints. Strong personalities will bring strong viewpoints. And strong viewpoints will bring about strong opinions. In the end, it is all attitudes. The greater the God, the greater the trauma. Throughout the universe, we as a species are regarded as great initiates. Initiates who have chosen the game of life upon the earth plane to conquer ourselves. It really is an outrageous concept. Oh my God, I'm having a hoot here. Hoot. It's so true. I'm gonna reread that too because it's so good. Throughout the universe, we as a species are regarded as great initiates. You know, like pro-biotic, pro-positive, not anti-pro. Thank you, other friend. Planting little seeds in this video. Nuggets. Initiates who have been chosen the game of life upon the earth plane to conquer ourselves. That's what we're seeing us doing. Yeah. It really is an outrageous concept as the angels see it. We have chosen to purify our race on our own terms. So from around the universe, there are many great beings who have come to support us and our chosen pathway upon our journey back home. Home. Should I change my tone? Know that our thoughts are being felt and are known throughout the universe by our galactic brothers and sisters. To many of those who dwell in our heavens, we are considered to be royalty. They are aware of our plight, perhaps even to a greater degree than ourselves. There is much that is filtered from upon our incarnation into this plane. This has been established, for the most part, by our own God self as rules for the game. There are many layers to the conditions of the human evolutionary experience that become clouded when we enter a conditional reality, boxing it in. A conditional reality experience that creates within its paradigm separation from the source of all. Boom, right there. Seated. We are then dealing with a partial reality experience. The conditions here, which dictate a limited awareness of our reality, are self-imposed. Awakening can only be achieved through right use of will. We are aware that for many are experiencing our dark night of the soul. If you have reached this knowingness, know that you are not at the end of your ropes, nor are you alone in your plight. Consider that through your experience and willful use of intent, you can cause the greatest effect for change. Change which will affect the whole of humanity. There is still quite a way to go to reach your intended destination on the other side of this journey. This is the awakening of your spirits. This is the time of your experience when you elect to embrace or not embrace your lordships in the kingdom of light. You cannot expect to enter this kingdom of light carrying all your baggage. So lighten up. Wow, I'm having trippy. Drippy. Speed. Our present situation may seem, so it appears, like to be likened to a war. So I'm going to repeat that. Having a moment here. Our present situation may seem to be likened to a war. A war that is being fought within our own being, and the emotional toll is great. For we have long ignored in the process our mastery of human emotions. This war is being waged within the confines of the DNA. It is our personal Armageddon, played out as one thought pattern finds itself pitted against another. As one genetic chain of heritage finds itself pitted against the other. How often have you been told the battle How often have you been told that the battle and the peace are found within, that the kingdom is within? The true nature of your personal reality is within. You are concerned with events developing in outer space, yet continue to think you can avoid the events transpiring in inner peace. Here is where your true earth changes are beginning. And here is where they will be resolved. You mean you didn't know that you have that far-ranging an effect in this universe? You didn't know you were limitless? Remind yourself that you are limitless and so much more powerful than any artificial, intelligent machine. We are I don't even want to use the word machine, but we are far more powerful than that individually, what we're capable of. You are capable of. Whoever comes across this, it's truth. From the perspective of the bigger picture, you are participating in a drama designed to develop within you 22 strains of DNA to their highest potential. The Christos, or Christ consciousness, call it different things, whatever's clever, to each his own. You are in many ways a composite of many grand species, created from and with the intent to develop the strongest possible life form, to hold the vibration of the Christos, or Christ consciousness. In this manner, you are your own great experiment. Nothing can occur against your will. Ooh, that's a little nugget. However, do you consciously develop that will? Do you exercise it over your emotions? Your job here at this point is to find the source of that will, harness that eternal energy, and own yourself, but not at the expense of other life forms. Do no harm but take no shit kind of thing. I chime in there. That's a little motto I like. It's been very useful recently. What has slowed you in our evolutionary process was the willful intent of others to manipulate our kind to suit their own purposes. Not all our shortcomings are of our own creation. We have at times been manipulated, and not always for the highest good. But alas, we are grand initiates having a dream, which is the form that the initiation expresses in at this exact point in the experience. Imagine that long ago, long ago, in some distant time, I'm bringing fire into the, smoke a little recreationally. Plant allies, though. The recreational stuff is just like that's nothing compared to what these plant allies, like the San Pedro plant, grandfather San Pedro. Gosh, so many plants, plant allies, plant medicine. They're alive, they're content. Unlike us. Imagine that long ago, in some distant time and place, you are before a high priest or priestess. There you see yourself before them. Smell the smells of the place with your eyes. Look at the entire scene. Feeling the walls and the robes they are wearing with your eyes. You have to close your eyes to do this. Try it. Hear the sounds of the place. A cricket, perhaps. The sound of the leather they are wearing. And the smell of it. Or perhaps it is in their voices. Being carried on the wind. The sounds of people scurrying about. They are telling you something. Can you hear them? Whispers at first. Something about you will sleep for 3,000 years. Then you will enter the dream state and must resist becoming reality. They chant prayers and sons for your remembrance. Sounds and rhythms that you have heard in your head and felt yourself drawn to for inexpiable reasons. Inexplainable typo. What is explainable? That makes more sense. So inexplainable, it's that draw, it's that pull, it's that familial. Fam. Soul thing. Remember. So, these sounds and rhythms that you have heard in your head and felt yourself drawn to for inexplainable reasons and at odd times, you may have found yourself humming to yourself or tapping your feet to a dance you played out in your head. Interesting. Their faces and the scene are somehow familiar, yet you cannot place them. You resist thinking that it might even be real. Oh, there it goes again, that voice telling you to dismiss this vision as a fantasy. The voice of your image. Go into a deeper state. Listen for the quiet voice. Ah, there it is. Notice how you, and as you listen to the silence, the vision becomes more and more real. So why do you doubt yourself? Remember, the external reality loses its hold over you when you remember. Why do you doubt your inner voice? What if it is reality? And the external noise, which never seems to bring harmony, were the unreality. Oh. You are now about to enter the last and final initiation. There no longer exists in this realm the chains of past karma. Your spirits are free to soar with the eagles. Free. Freedom. Fly. The secrets are unveiled to any who seek. What you seek is seeking you. We encourage you to take up the new sword, the sword of knowledge. Take it and turn to face the final gatekeeper, the one who keeps you from entering the final door. Ooh. The gatekeeper has been identified. Alas, it is yourself. But know, O Lords of Light, O star seeds, whatever you identify with, chosen ones, you need to know that you are free to go and conquer yourselves. Free to rise above the illusion of limited minds, for all is mind. The house of thought, and thought creates the nature of reality. You are concerned with events developing in outer space, yet you continue to think you can avoid the events transpiring in inner space. Here is where your true earth changes are beginning, and here is where they will be resolved. Humanity has indulged itself in manipulating its political will over its own kind. Sorry for the tone change, but that's just how it's rolling. Flow. Shouldn't even apologize for that, because it's true. Nope. So I'm going to repeat that. Humanity has indulged itself in manipulating its political will over its own kind. We're conquering ourselves. Our brothers and sisters from the stars, that's how they see it. Us beings of Terra. It's sad we can do something about that. We will, we are. Humanity is suffering the, air quoting here, dance of the tyrants. End of air quote. The dance has been a calculated game of domination, and one species over another. One concept over the other. And now, you have reached the end of the playing field. And change must occur, either by your own will or by another's. The old methods are losing their hold as the new consciousness ushers in. And in many instances, no longer applies. Power over one another will prove utterly useless in the days that are unfolding upon you and your kind. For we have entered the time of truth or consequences. There has already been too much misinformation manipulated by those who would perpetuate fear to control the emotional growth of humankind. Therefore, we will not dwell on geophysical changes during this council. Know that there is a plane of expression where these occurrences will manifest. But there are many other planes of expression which will be realized, for you are destined to grand reality. The veils are getting very thin, much thinner, every day thinner. And you are sensing the overlaying of realities. In other words, the veils are lifting and we're getting checked on how we're living. You have now entered the final labyrinth. You must now escape the traps of your own perceptions of a limited existence. As you move into your foreverness, you shall break the spell of mortality through the process of willful awakening. It is possible to see the probability of your future events, what you call prophecy. We will, therefore, remove the veils and illusions of time to speak of your potential future events. The intensity with which any of these events occurs will be determined entirely upon the level of awareness of humanity, individually and as a whole. There has been much evidence of humankind's awakening. However, keep in mind, it is much slower than current events require. Already, natural events upon the planet and in our heavens are occurring that can no longer be slowed, never mind explained, nor can there be any further intervention to encapsulate humankind's consciousness to prevent the playing out of the dramas of their own self-destructive tendencies. This is the final gateway, so I'll repeat that one line there. Nor can there be any further intervention to encapsulate humankind's consciousness to prevent the playing out of the dramas of their own self-destructive tendencies. This is the final gateway. To the self-realization process, and we ourselves have dictated the rules of the game, so to speak, long ago. What is occurring at this time is More than the turning of the galactic seasons, humanity itself is entering a period of unfathomable growth and experience. Giddy up! Your surprised reactions and tendency to regard natural events as mysteries and phenomena are no more than altered ego's resistance to the natural unfolding of the dream, of your own existence within the dream. But remember, the universe has its own dream, and there is a changing of seasons occurring. The altered ego is edging God out. Don't be taken in by the turning away. When the light turns to human sorrow and the shadow seems to take control, keep in mind that the shadow has no form, lest that which you yourself give it. Aho.